Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. HeirofCarthage here, and it is going to be Pergamon taking on Egypt. A couple of fun factions here. Pergamon, obviously when I called them Pergamene, that lends some background as to what they are thought of in the Rome 2 community. They are definitely not thought to be any type of power faction, and this is going to be an interesting Pergamene build. They have 4 noble cavalry. These are pretty good hitting, heavy shot cavalry. But they're not great for the price, which is part of the reason why Pergamon continues to be a meme. They do have a couple of Tarentine cavalry on that flank, a line of Galatian swords, and an Agema spear general. And remember, Agema spears are a heavier version of Thurio spears. We've got a couple of light horse, and then up front there are some slingers. And then there is one more light horse hidden in the back for Pergamon. And then on the Egyptian side here, we're going to see some Egyptian cavalry, nice cheap melee cavalry. Should be, fairly worthwhile in this battle against Pergamon as long as they don't get it charged by those heavy lancers. There's 2 more on the other flank. The Hellenic Royal Guard General. Now that is an odd one indeed. A pike unit. A very heavy pike unit. Nonetheless, we did have some thorax swords that are visible. Some Nubian bows. We cannot see much of Egypt's army. It looks like this Egyptian cavalry is getting baited here by the mercenary Tarentines. That is not a thing that they want to be doing right now. But we will see how this goes. Pergamon's main battle line is extremely squishy. Their shot cavalry is very deadly, but like I said, very squishy on the main line. So I'm going to fast forward a bit and kind of see how this early skirmish plays out. Those Nubian bows could help screen out the Tarentine cavalry. The Egyptian cavalry really has no need to go out there and die. Pergamon is going to need to approach. Egypt holds a nice position in a little bit of wooded area here that can provide them some cover from missiles. Possibly a good position to skirmish from. Nubian bows do have the 150 range that we're seeing there, and there's another one popping up. Check out those Nubian bows. Pretty cool looking unit models here. They are very low armor though, and these slingers are going to be a pretty significant danger to them. There's a mercenary Rhodian slinger there, though, to help shore things up. I'm assuming Egypt may have one more skirmisher there. With these Nubian bowmen turned to the side, Pergamon has a pretty good opportunity here to get a good start in this skirmish. Egypt's going to fall back a little bit, I think, and try and get themselves repositioned better for the skirmish fight. Look at this. It's going to be a 2-on-1 here, I think, for these slingers. Egyptian cavalry is just intent on trying to catch the Tarentines, and I do not think they will. These Egyptian cavalry here would have to move to cut these guys off, and there's just really no way to do that in the current state of this maneuver. So the Egyptian cavalry continues to get javelined pretty good, and I don't think that it's really in their best interest. And it looks like skirmishers are just going to trade fire with skirmishers at the moment. We do have a mercenary Rhodian slinger that moved up quite a ways here. It's going to be under fire potentially from multiple units at once. Not going to be great for the Rhodian, but the Pergamene slingers are going to take some damage. Their cavalry has a chance to come push that back. We'll see if the Pergamenes make that opportunity. Yeah, this is just a pointless chase, I feel like, for the Egyptian cavalry. This is not something you want to try. And then now with that light horse, it could come in here, and the Egyptian cavalry could take a lot of losses for nothing of real value. Rhodians are getting some nice cover. It looks like a cavalry is going to come forward to push them back, and the Egyptians need to be retreating already. And I got a bad feeling this mercenary Rhodian is about to get decked by a Pergamene noble cavalry because it waited too long to retreat. There is no Egyptian cavalry near. There are a lot of thorax pikes, but they are too far back to protect their mercenary Rhodian slinger, which got absolutely trashed by a noble cavalry, and that thing just got a significant payout there. Now, some Pergamene slingers paid a pretty good price, but I would say that was worth it for Pergamon. And meanwhile, let's see what's happened out here. It looks like the light horse for Pergamon gets destroyed by the Egyptian cavalry, which is going to continue to give chase to the Tarentines. With no cavalry, though, the Egyptian army is going to be extremely vulnerable. So I don't know that I agree with the decision to throw the cavalry away on a couple of Tarentines that could be rather easily screened off with some archers or Thurio spears or something like that if they were present. Now we saw the pikes, we saw the swords, so there's a significant amount of Egyptian infantry here. And if Pergamon wants to win, they're going to need to pick apart those pikemen, and that's going to be difficult to do as the pikemen are up in the woods. But again, if Egypt sacrifices all of its mobility to get rid of some Tarentines, they may put themselves in a bind here. They did finally catch this one. So their dogged pursuit has succeeded, at least for now. The Pikes are going to move forward again, but the Rhodians are going to be caught again. And very little punishment dished out to the Pergamene Noble Cavalry for basically totally destroying a Cretan archer. You can see that unit's almost picked up a chevron. They finally took a few bow shots on the way out right there that did make them pay some price. And let's see, that last Tarentine cavalry still just keeping the gaze of these Egyptian cavalry. They are not going to give up on it. Looks like that one's finished. So we're going to have 4 heavy lancers, most of which are in good health, up against very little cavalry from Egypt. And these Nubian bowmen continue to fire away. There's slingers coming back from routing, and Pergamon's going to push forward to do some more skirmishing. It's going to allow Egypt to get some first shots with their Nubian bows over here, I would think. And that Rhodian slinger is once again way back out front. I'm not sure why the Rhodian slinger keeps ending up out front. That Nubian bow is now going to move to the front here as well. Look at that, Tarentine cavalry got away from all the Egyptians. Alright, so can the Nubian bows do their damage? Now, honestly, the slingers are a bit of a worry for Egypt, but that cavalry is really the better target for the Egyptian skirmishers. Right, here comes a Pergamene infantry charge. Let's see how Egypt does here. Egypt's going to want to win quickly and decisively. So a Hellenic Royal Guard moving to intercept the Tarentines. They're going to charge it because they weren't pike formation, but wow. That is a Leroy Jenkins moment if I've ever seen it. Pike formation or not, that Hellenic Royal Guard is going to absolutely crush that Tarentine cavalry. Now these pikes up front, those are thorax pikes. It's kind of a upper mid-tier pike unit. And there's really nothing that the Pergamenes can do to it from the front. They're going to have to move to the flank. And there's Egyptian pikemen to support that flank. Pergamon is, I think, going to have a difficult time here unless they can get that cavalry into a rear position. The Egyptian cavalry here, if it plays its cards right, could be quite effective. They can't be everywhere at once, though. Those archers are going to want to target the noble cavalry immediately. So the archer or the Nubian bowmen should all be targeting Pergamene noble cavalry. Like this one right here is the target, in my opinion. See what happens. The pikemen are taking some javelin volleys, but they're fine. Egyptian pikemen moved up here. Galatian swords are faltering. And Egypt has fixed a Pergamene noble cavalry over here. That Egyptian cavalry, though, is still going to struggle here because of the armor on the Pergamene noble cav. It's not zero. It's not great, but it's going to take them a little while to take that unit down. Cycle charges here are proving effective. So Egypt's going to need to reinforce this area with pikes. And it looks like they are moving to do so. The pikes are pushing a little bit here for Egypt. That's not exactly what they want to do. The Agema Spear had thrown their javelins and is now going to enter combat. And these swordsmen and Egyptian infantry can move into support. Pergamon might have a difficult time kind of cracking this Egyptian nut, so to speak, here. Yeah, Egypt's about to be in trouble, though. Their cavalry is going to be gone, and they've got a bunch of slow-moving pike units for defense. The cavalry is just going to avoid them. But it's going to be difficult. Pergamon can't afford to just lose units. They're losing their infantry really quickly. There's still a lot of slingers left. That bodes well for Pergamon. And there's a lot of noble cavalry left, so Egypt's about to lose their skirmishers. This is why I had stated earlier that I felt like they should be targeting that noble cavalry. The noble cavalry here was really Pergamon's only hope. The slingers wouldn't have enough ammunition to kill everything left for the Egyptians. But the cavalry can certainly rear charge a lot of stuff into an oblivion. And that's exactly what it's doing over here. That cavalry watch here, the kills just start to skyrocket, and you're going to see these guys just trading off. There's a lot of pikes around, though, and if the Egyptian is focused and methodical here, they can certainly kill a lot of this Pergamene cavalry. There is another one that came out of hiding. This light horse is... that's going to be rough for Egypt. Egypt was going to lose all these archers anyway. Yeah, the Pergamene infantry really struggling here. The Agema Spear had to retreat away from pikes. It's now being pursued by thorax swords. The Galatian swords are not having a good time of this fight. Here comes that cavalry. Let's see. This is going to be a close finish, I think. Yes, Pergamon has all the mobility, and at the moment they have skirmishers. I don't know how much longer these slingers are going to be able to fire for. They've been firing for a long time. And this little bit of bush here has given Egypt some nice cover that's may make it difficult for Pergamon to finish this one, but we'll see. Like I said, I think this is going to be a close finish. Egypt lost a lot of cavalry early. Was it worth it? I guess is what we're about to find out. These thorax swords are pretty good units, pretty tough. They're not amazing, but like I said, they're okay. They can get the job done. That slinger fire is definitely withering away at the Egyptian troops, and these pikemen do not have the mobility here. But it's going to require Pergamon a lot of focus here to make sure they don't charge into the front of any pikes. And the Egyptian player is going to be trying hard to get rid of more of these cavalry. That one just got a pretty decent charge there. You see the pikes are not turning around very well into the cav. If they do, though, they'll kill a fair few of them. But I want to say that Pergamene cavalry only took like a loss or two in that charge, which is something Egypt can ill afford at the moment. This pikeman really ought not to get too far separated from other support. Egypt definitely needs to stick together at this point and make it more tricky for Pergamon to pick off targets. Like these units need to hurry over and get closer to the other formation. Egypt needs to support its own units here from every angle it can. It's like this pike unit's now caught out on between some of these units. Slingers are now running out of ammunition. This one's got a little bit left, so like I said, they would not have had enough ammunition to finish it. This is going to be a tight finish. That Hellenic Royal Guard, again, needs to pull back over here towards cover. Egypt definitely should not be spreading out at this time, because what's going to happen if they spread out is this. Egypt's going to single out units and destroy them one by one with their superior mobility. So I feel like I said, Egypt needs to stick together, stick in these woods, and just wait it out, and I feel like they could win. Pergamon is running dangerously low on noble cavalry. We got one in decent shape there, and then two pretty thrashed ones. Or sorry, one other thrashed one, and then a few Agema spears here. These Galatian swords continue to fight. There's a decent number of thorax swords left here. That thorax pike's going to get caught out. Again, it was separated. These units really need to stick together. 19. Let's see what happens here. If these pikes can manage to turn around at all, which they're really struggling to do, pikes really do not like to respond. Honestly, if he just forms a pike triangle with these last three units, Egypt wins, period. Like, end of story. If they just form a triangle with these pikes, it's GG, game over. I don't know if he's going to do it. Yeah. Because there's no skirmishers left. Still going to be a very tight finish. Right now it shows Egypt gaining the upper hand, and I agree with that in the sense that it's going to be hard for Pergamon to finish this. Not impossible, but hard. It depends on what kind of work that cavalry gets done, and it did just level that Egyptian pikeman on that charge. That was brutal. That unit is going to stabilize. These thorax swords, though, are a big problem for Pergamon because they are providing much better flexible support here. Pergamon is now down to just a few Agema spears and these noble cavalry. I think Egypt's probably going to carry this by weight of numbers. It will be cool to see a pike army win. It's mostly going to be because of the terrain and numbers if they do. Pergamon's clawing a little bit back there on the balance of power. I don't see it happening. Like, I don't see the numbers here or the angles. Pretty sure Egypt takes this one home. Egypt did have a cavalry unit that came back there that they weren't able to activate that could have been handy. It does look like Egypt is going to finish this one. That last noble cavalry there, 188 kills. Look at this pike unit doing pike unit things. CA, please, if you make another Rome game, just do pikes right. A Rome or Alexander, either one. Just do us a favor and do pikes the right way. It still kills me that pikes were never made right in Rome 2. It's really frustrating. It is going to be an Egyptian victory. A long, drawn-out battle and an Egyptian victory, so pike's going to pull off a win here, though Pergamon trying to the utter end there with those cavalry. Very well done. Good game to Hotel Soap and Ronan here. Ronan managed to finish that one out. That was some insane aggression with those Egyptian cavalry. And he did get the Tarentine cavalry, and they were still alive to help fight off some of the noble cav. And if you look at the noble cav, 2 of them just absolutely, I mean, whacking. I mean, those guys were on fire there. Look at that. Just bushwhacking the Egyptian troops. The pikes were effective in this. It was difficult. Pergamon did not have the infantry to do a lot of surrounding on the pikes, and they didn't have the javelins. And because of the positioning in the woods, the slingers were limited on the damage that they could deal to the pikes as well. So Egypt did it. They lasted out by numbers here, and the pike units ended up being quite deadly. Despite the fact that none of them are going to rack up, super amazing kills, they still present a threat that Pergamon has to maneuver around the whole time, and it causes challenges for him. But anyway, GG to both players. Hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now.